If you're looking to maximize your time and budget on a film shoot, it's essential you have a proper shooting schedule. What's up, friends? The Nerdy Filmmaker here. Today we are talking about shooting schedules. Shooting schedule is so important to keep things running smoothly and on time, but can also save you a lot of money. Now this is assuming you already have a shot list. So if you haven't seen my video on making a shot list, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. What we're gonna be talking about in this video is how to schedule a shoot within one day. Not so much how to schedule the entire production. That'll be another separate video in the future. But let's get right into it, all right? All right. Now the first thing you want to do is order your scenes if you have multiple scenes to shoot in the same day. Ordering your scenes can be really helpful in wrapping people early. So let's say, for example, you have scenes 1, 3, and 5 to shoot within this location, but a given actor is only in scenes 1 and 5. Well, that might be a really good reason to shoot scenes 1 and 5 either first or last, so that you can wrap that actor early and not have them waiting around, potentially going into overtime. It also clears up space on set. While it's nice to have a lot of people on set, ideally, if you can get people out, then all the better. They won't keep eating your craft. The second thing you want to focus on is the time of day. So keep in mind that the sun is traveling throughout the day, and if the sun's gonna be hitting specific windows in your location, or let's say a scene's supposed to be shot at night, schedule according to what's gonna work with the passing of the sun. I hate blacking out windows, so I will always try to properly put night scenes at night if possible. But that also applies to lighting setups. If scenes 1 and 5 are supposed to be taking place at night, and scene 3 is during the day, well, you're gonna wanna put 1 and 5 together so that you don't have to change the lighting setup twice. Those are ordering scenes, but what about within a scene? What kind of tips can we follow to make sure that we're maximizing our time efficiency? So many filmmakers will say to start with the wide. Start with your master shots. And there's a few reasons why. One, if you're running out of time, the master shot's the last thing you wanna cut. So if you get it in early, you won't face that stress. A master shot's gonna have the coverage of your entire scene. It's your safety. The second reason you wanna start with your master shot is it gives your actors time to warm up before you get in closer for those more intimate and demanding shots. Third, it also gives you and them a chance to run the scene in its entirety within the space with all of the blocking necessary. That way, if you encounter any problems, you can address them in that master shot before you go into the close-ups. And third, it really helps with consistency of lighting. If you start in a close-up and do a lighting setup, you might find that when you cut to the wide, you no longer can place the lights or justify the lighting within the space. So let's say, for example, you have an overhead light and it's hitting someone, in the front of their face, but then you find in the wide, they need to be in front of that light, so no longer is that light hitting them in the face, it's hitting them behind. It's gonna solve consistency issues if you start with a wide and then move to your close-ups. So all of these tips are kind of following an order of importance, and we use these when scheduling our shoots. So the second thing you want to consider is the direction in which you're shooting. Let's say it's a two-person dialogue scene sitting opposite from each other. If you take care of all of person one's shot from one side, their close-up, their medium, any wides from that angle, it means that not only are the lighting adjustments incremental, little shifts here and there, but it also means that you're focusing on one background. Only one side of the set right now needs to be clear. That means you can put all of your equipment and all your director's chairs and all that on the other side of the camera. But as soon as you flip the axis and look the other way, you might have to clean up that whole background now and move things over here. It's gonna be a lot easier, a lot faster on your art director as well to be kind of focusing on one area at a time. Choose which direction you want to start. Try to get all your shots from that angle or that thereabouts before you flip the axis and go on the other side and start setting up for that angle. Now the third thing you want to consider, and this saves a little bit of time, is lens choice. Swapping lenses can take a little bit of time if you have a whole rig built up around your camera. If you have a follow focus and a matte box, I turned into a Bostonian there. Every time you want to switch the lenses, you gotta take everything off and put all this stuff on. So if you are taking multiple shots from the same angle using the same lens, then you want to group those together. Now the next thing to consider are Insert shots. Insert shots are interesting because you could be doing them sometimes while actors are getting makeup done. So if you really want to fill up your time, if there's a half-hour pocket where not everyone's going to be ready but lighting and camera are, you can be using that time to get insert shots and detail shots of the space. The next tip are what actors need to be involved in these shots. If there's a moment when someone's sitting there sipping a coffee alone and contemplating, and then someone comes in and does have a conversation, and then that person leaves and there's a moment alone again, maybe you can be doing those beginning and ending shots together first while the second actor is in hair and makeup. Now, the last thing to consider are specialty shots, and these are interesting because they can kind of go on either end. It depends on how complex the rigging for that shot is gonna be and where you can fit it within your schedule. Now, when I talk about like the complexity of the shot, I kind of mean, I guess when I imagine that, I'm thinking about like dolly shots. If you've got to lay down tracks for a dolly shot, either you can be setting that up at the very beginning while actors are still in costume and makeup, while lighting is still going, and that way you get that shot done first or second, and then you can wrap up the tracks and get them out of the way, or you can be setting it up for, let's say, the end. Personally, I don't like to start with complicated shots just because I like to start with the master shot. It's easy, it's simple, it gets people in a rhythm, especially the first shot of the project, because it kind of messes with morale. Not everyone's in sync yet. Start off simple. Get one of the easy shots first. But that kind of comes to the last tip that I want to say, is that always look out for ways that you could be multitasking. Like I said, getting detailed shots while actors are in hair and makeup, that's a way to multitask. Can you be setting up tracks while something else is going on and you're not rolling and it's not making a lot of noise? Do you have extra hands on set that could be helping with these things? Can you be setting up art for the next angle while you're shooting this way? Can people start doing preliminary clear out of that space? Anything you can be doing that's multitasking to have stuff move along smoothly is just gonna save you time. And in the end, it could save you money. When you schedule all of this ahead of time, you can be wrapping people early, you can be saving maybe even on location rental if you're out earlier, you can be feeding fewer people on set. All of these little things add up over time. That's it, friends. That's how we schedule a day's shoot. At some point, I want to create a video on how to schedule an overall production. When I do make that, there will be a link in the description to that video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, hey, get out there, get shooting, friends. I have to stop saying shooting because YouTube keeps thinking that I'm talking about guns, but I'm not. I'm talking about filmmaking. Apparently it listens to the audio. Filmmaking. Making a film. Got it, YouTube? Got it, algorithm? Stop suggesting me to snipers. Okay, goodbye, everyone. I've ruined it now. I've said the word sniper, so, oh boy.